Back in the 80s, Ferrari used to love hiding hidden features on their cars. Let's take this Testarossa, for example. First of all, to get in the car, well, there's a hidden door handle under here that you have to pull. When you get inside, well, there's not much happening on the dash. Or is there? So you might think, where's the stereo on this car? Well, it's hidden underneath this panel here. Then we have this plain expanse here on the passenger side, and it's not plain at all. We have a glove box with a mirror. Why would you need a mirror here in an 80s car? Where are the headlights on this car? Well, naturally, those are hidden too. But the best bit is under the engine cover. Somehow, back in 1987, they managed to hide 380 horses in here. Back in the 80s, Ferrari used to love
Eyes up here. It's called the Grubelt Ultra. Let me tell you about it. Oh, that felt good. According to billions of our customers, the Grubelt was and is the best belt in the world. However, a few people did reach out and give us some unsolicited advice.
It's easy to bridge with technology, particularly AI. And so when Donald Trump refuses to go to churches, they make an image of him praying. It's not real, but they like it. When he refuses to hang out with anyone who's not lily white, they just deep fake him into a cookout or something, and they like it. It's good for them. Well, now there's a hurricane, and it's very important to the right to pretend that the Democrats, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, aren't doing anything about it. Whereas Donald Trump is a hero, the hero America needs and deserves, as you can see in images like this. It's Donald Trump wading through thigh-high water from the hurricane, which is amazing. Donald Trump not only exercising, which has never been before caught on photos, but being a hero, really, trying to rescue people. Now, Fred Smith, who tweeted that out, says, can anyone verify this or disprove it? And I think I might be able to. It's fake. You know how I know? Because what the hell are we doing? Obviously, it's fake. Well, yes, okay, the hand is a dead giveaway. He's got a pig's foot as a hand, you weirdo. Did you even look at the image before you spread it? But also, you don't need to look for the telltale signs of an AI-generated image. I would bet every cent I will ever possess, and indeed the cents that my descendants in the next 500 years, if I should be so lucky, will ever make, that he would never, ever do anything like that. You fools, how could you possibly think that was true? But again, it's out there. And if you're a Trump supporter, hey, he's a hero, you know? He's not just throwing paper towels this time, he's actually trying to rescue people. And if it was true, he'd be tweeting it out or truthing it out. Honestly, we're kind of surprised here at TDR that he's not truthing it out anyway. He's spread deep fake images of Taylor Swift. Do you really think that he will never spread a fake image of him doing something heroic? I think it might happen. But anyway, you know, AI's been all over the place. AI, election misinformation.
Developing news in Riverside County, where Sheriff Chad Bianco claims that his deputies may have prevented a third assassination attempt on former President Trump. Authorities arrested a man making his way to the Trump rally in Coachella on Saturday. Allegedly, he was armed with multiple loaded guns. Now, the Riverside County Sheriff says that the man was also carrying several passports with different names and had a homemade license plate on his vehicle.
KTLA's Omar Lewis joins us from Riverside with more on that suspect and what the Department of Justice is saying.
Rick and Kareen, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department says that 49-year-old suspect was armed with multiple loaded weapons, including a shotgun, and he also allegedly had fake credentials. The sheriff here says he believes his deputies stopped a potential third assassination attempt against former President Trump. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco confirmed to KTLA 5 News that this is the suspect, Vim Miller, arrested while trying to enter Saturday's Trump campaign rally in the Coachella Valley.
I truly do believe that we prevented another assassination attempt.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says Miller was stopped at a checkpoint near Saturday's Trump rally when deputies discovered he was carrying a shotgun, a loaded handgun, and a high-capacity magazine, along with fake passports and a fake license. He also allegedly attempted to use fake VIP passes to gain access to the event.
What we do know is he showed up with multiple passports with different names, an unregistered vehicle with fake license plate, and loaded firearms. If you're asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the third assassination attempt.
Tens of thousands of Trump supporters showed up to the rally held Saturday in the blistering heat at the Calhoun Ranch just outside Coachella. While residents and permitted attendees were allowed through the security checkpoints, they were closely monitored. It was at one of those checkpoints where Miller's alleged plot was foiled before the former president arrived. He was booked into a detention center for possessing a loaded firearm and high-capacity magazine.
I need to thank that deputy for doing his job. That was the first thing that went through my mind.
The U.S. Attorney's Office released a statement reading in part, the U.S. Secret Service assesses that the incident did not impact protective operations, and former President Trump was not in any danger. While no federal arrest has been made at this time, the investigation is ongoing. In July, an armed man fired at Trump during a rally in Pennsylvania, injuring the former president and killing one attendee. Just last month, another suspect was arrested in Palm Beach, Florida, with a rifle near Trump's golf club. Authorities continue their investigation into this latest incident, and the FBI is also questioning another individual linked to a potential bomb threat at Saturday's rally. And Miller has been released from jail on a $5,000 bail. His next court date is set for early next year. Reporting from Riverside, I'm Omar Lewis. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
And just a
Hi, I'm JT and I made Result Hunter, the search engine for conservatives. Let me just tell you what it does. First of all, big tech right now is run by a bunch of elitist people who all happen to vote the same way and who all happen to live in huge cities on the West Coast. And so Result Hunter takes those elitist values and elitist sources and kind of pushes them down a little bit in the search engine. Meanwhile, it takes those sources of truth that we believe have been deranked a little bit by Google, and it pushes those up a bit. And the main thing that you'll gain from using the search engine is that your ad revenue that you generate by going all over the web will be much more likely to support conservatives and things that support conservative values rather than things that support elitist and liberal cultural values. So thank you. Please use resulthunter.com if you're a conservative. Hit try now to go over there, and it'll become your default when you hit add to browser and follow the instructions. See you at resulthunter.com.
Have you seen the news? Hey, it's Colin Allred, and a new poll shows me taking the lead over Ted Cruz in Texas. This poll shows what I've seen time and time again on the...
Donald Trump unveiled his economic plans at the Detroit Economic in the United Final Percent, and pretending that you know what he just and other plans. He said Donald authorities on all imported goods will significantly push up prices. Nobody will check.
I now know the game a little better. You know, I had never been a politician before. I got to the White House. I said, yeah, I've never done this before, but...
If Trump is elected and implements his tariffs and other plans, inflation will probably and quickly rise to an uncomfortable 6 to 9.3% per year from the current 2.5%, according to a respected think tank, with prices climbing a very painful 20% to 28% during Trump's 4 years in office. That means there's a good chance that inflation would rise more in a second Trump term than it has under Joe Biden. Not only that, economists say the higher prices caused by Trump's tariffs will cost the typical American household between $2,600 and $3,900 a year. Rather than focusing on Trump's criticisms about inflation, Americans should be celebrating the fact that inflation has significantly decreased, nearing 2% once again. When we take a clear look at what drove inflation in 2021 and 2022, we can identify two key causes. And no, Kamala Harris is not one of them. The first major cause was the COVID-19 pandemic. It forced the closure of thousands of factories worldwide. It severely disrupted supply chains, leading to skyrocketing prices on everything from cars to furniture, and this was happening right around the world. The second cause was Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The conflict drove up global agricultural prices because Ukraine is a major exporter of grain and fertilizer. Additionally, the war sent oil and gas prices soaring as Russia is a major energy supplier and the war disrupted energy exports. There was also another significant factor contributing to inflation: corporate profiteering. Many companies exploited the situation, raising prices well beyond what was necessary. This greedflation resulted in record corporate profits, while consumers felt the squeeze. The Economic Policy Institute noted that inflated corporate profits were responsible for about a third of the price increases since the pandemic began. The reality is that the US economy is in solid shape, despite many people feeling frustrated by the higher prices compared to pre-pandemic levels. What many Americans may not realize is that wages have actually been increasing faster than prices, helping to offset some of the inflationary impact. Looking ahead, economists are more concerned about Donald Trump's potential impact on prices than anything to do with Vice President Harris. They fear that Trump's proposed tariffs could cause a spike in prices and spark a trade war that might push the US economy into a recession. Trump has been vocal about two major economic policies: significant tax cuts for the wealthiest 1% and corporations, and the imposition of steep tariffs, up to 20% on all imports, including items like TVs, shoes, and bananas, with a staggering 60%